Was a girl running in a group. She had a high-speed motor in a 40 Ford coupe. She had a racing cam and a supercharged. Look at Buddy, hot rod and large. She's a hot rod. She's a hot rod.
But I have compiled my list for this year. For 2020 vehicles. I got inspired. I bought a new vehicle last week, a new Ford. Another grocery getter for she who will be obeyed, so we can go to the grocery store. But it's just amazing, the new toys on it. I've got the blind spot sensors. I've got rear braking. I got a screen in the middle of the dash. It looks like a small computer. It's bigger than my phone. A lot bigger than my phone. So anyway, this is all new stuff coming up, and these are the things you're going to want to know. This is my favorite section. Is my favorite list. Is the Car Connection, was an online magazine, car magazine, one of the sources I use regular, has the 5 2020 vehicles that they gave a perfect score of 10 for performance. For all you gearheads out there, if you want to go fast, guess what I got for you? The 2020 Chevrolet Corvette, of course. 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. On the street. Now, why you would want to do that, I don't know. But you could if you wanted to. The 2020 Nissan GTR. Now that's a V6 with up to 600 horsepower in that little car. 0 to 60 in less than 3 seconds. So it's right there with the Corvette. It's a flyer. 2020 Porsche 718 Boxster and the Porsche Cayman. 4-cylinder engines with 300 to 414 horsepower. I'm telling you, that's a lot of horsepower for that little bitty car. 0 to 60 in 4.2 seconds. So you're going to be behind the Corvette. You're not going to beat a Corvette with it.
And the Nissan.
The 2020 Porsche 911, 443 horsepower. 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds. It's another little car. The 2020 Porsche Taycan. It's a 616 base model. Horsepower is about 750 and a best to boost twin turbos. 0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds. In a quarter mile, this car off the showroom floor runs in the 10s. 10.8 seconds. A showroom car, it runs in the 10s, guys. If you're a drag racing fan, you know running in the 10s, that used to be the holy grail. Mm-hmm. When I was racing back as a kid in the 60s, a 10-second machine was hot, real hot. That was good to go. I mean, we never got it down under 12, I don't think.
I'll still take the Nissan. Overall, out of those 5 cars, the Nissan.
They're small enough, I don't think I'd fit in any of them. The design of the new Corvette, Eric, is just a killer.
Yeah, I see.
Everybody is loving it.
I saw it the other day, too, as well. Normally, they come out, with the cars and the models and the designs and everything like that. And I seen the new Corvette that came out with it. I'm like, it looks nice.
Mid-engine?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, big engine. I don't know if I like sitting on the motor. That's not my idea of a good time. All right, now, the Car Connection has deemed these cars the safest cars for 2020. In other words, they're least likely to get hurt in the event of an accident. And there's only one American-made car on here. I shouldn't say that these are all American-made. I mean, the Subaru is made right down here in Indiana. Go to Alabama, you can find a Mercedes plant, all this other stuff. Well, anyway, the safest cars for 2020. Number 1 is the Lincoln Continental. Well-designed, plenty of airbags, plenty of sensors. It's the safest car to drive in 2020. Mercedes E-Class is right up there with the Continental. Oddly enough, the Subaru Legacy. Now I know Subaru has been trying to get their quality up and get involved with the quality cars and the luxury cars, because they're trying to get Subaru a new name. They're trying to reinvent the mousetrap, if you will. The Volvo XC90. If you remember right, back in the day, Volvo led all this for safety. They were the best, and now they're down to number 5. Because the Continental is so much safer, and of course that Mercedes. The Kia Telluride. Honest to God, have you ever seen one of these? Anyway, I'd buy it for my mother-in-law, but I don't like her. Anyway, the Mazda 6, she don't like me either. The Mazda 6, that's the safest car. Honda Ridgeline, great car. The Honda Ridgeline is a great vehicle, and you can haul stuff with it. It's really a good vehicle. It's a good vehicle to have, and it's in the top, whatever this is, 10 safety cars. And, of course, the Toyota Camry. Toyota Camry does it with a series of detectors and sensors and airbags. They added so much safety features to that Toyota Camry. I can't imagine if you did have a wreck of any kind, thank God nobody would get hurt, but you would probably, the insurance company would spend $3,000 or $4,000 just putting new airbags and sensors in it, or more.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think the Toyota Camry was one of the first cars to have those sensors in their vehicles.
Yes, Toyota was the first ones to do that, and they're up there in the top 10 of safest. They just don't, for some reason, they don't build them any stronger, but they just pad them. A lot of airbags in that car. You can't get hurt in that car, but if you did, it'd cost a fortune to fix it. It'd probably be totaled. If the body shop just had to fix the body and paint, a couple grand. But now with all the airbags and the sensors that went off, you're talking 20 grand. So I don't know. You got to weigh that a little bit. There's a lot of expensive new stuff on your cars. You guys like to tow? I know if you want to tow a boat, you want to tow a camper. Well, I have the best vehicles for towing in 2020. The best vehicles for towing like a camper or boat, whatever. Ford Explorer, number 1. You can tow up to 5,600 pounds, and that towing package costs an additional $710. The Nissan Pathfinder, they can tow up to 6,000 pounds, and that towing package is a $425 option. Of course, towing packages are always option on vehicles, so that's why I managed to get the price. I wanted you to know what you're going to pay extra for. The Grand Cherokee. This Grand Cherokee says it can tow up to 7,200 pounds. And, of course, that costs $995 for that package. 7,200 pounds, there's got to be stiffer springs. It's got without towing anything, it's got to ride like a tank. It's got to be stiff as heck. I can't imagine that. But they pick 7,200 pounds. That's a lot. The BMW X5, that tows up to 7,500 pounds. And that option was $550. So that's a lot less, $400 less than the almost $500, $450, $550 less than the Grand Cherokee. Grand Cherokee Jeep's a little high on a lot of their stuff. The Audi Q7 tows up to 7,700 pounds. Whew. And it's $750 for that little option. The Mercedes GLE class tows up to 7,700 pounds. And that little option there is only $575. Mercedes is the cheapest of them all here. No, Nissan was. But still, that's cheap. The Porsche Cayenne, that's their SUV, can tow up to 7,700 pounds. And that little option will cost you $660. The Land Rover, now these guys they're expensive. The Land Rover, the Range Rover vehicle now, there's two of them. The Range Rover tows up to over 7,700 pounds, but that option will cost you $1,085. And the Land Rover Discovery model tows up to 8,200 pounds, and that little option will cost you $665. I don't know why it's so much more on the Range Rover. It's almost the same car. Matter of fact, I look at Land Rover, I think they all look the same to me. The Dodge Durango. Here again, Jeep and Dodge, FCA Chrysler is kind of proud of their stuff. The Durango SRT, which is the big engine, big V8, will tow 8,700 pounds. But that little option will cost you $1,195 to tow your trailer. Yow. Some good stuff there. The nation's two largest retailers of automobiles, new and used, AutoNation and Penske, have returned their SBA loans. Here's the story. AutoNation Inc., the nation's largest dealership group, returned $77 million in loans it received through the federal government's Paycheck Protection Program for their 83 stores across the country. Penske has 83 stores across the country. Yahoo! The Penske, that's AutoNation, while Penske Automotive Group, it returned its loans it received from the companies told Automotive News on Friday, but they would not tell you how much. The Washington Post was the first to report that AutoNation would return the loans. The Post said AutoNation had received nearly $95 million in loans, citing internal documents and company employees for as sources. Well, that's the Post. Penske Automotive Group, the nation's second largest new vehicle retailer, said in a statement issued to Automotive News that it informed its lender on Wednesday, before the new guidance was issued, that it would not participate in the program, and late Friday it had completed returning the loan proceeds to its lender. Penske declined to disclose the amount of the loan it received. Some people didn't deserve these loans, and some people need it. So let's get the money to the right place. You know what I'm saying? That's where it's got to go. Here's something I'm sure that nobody has taken into account, and I've thought about this just the other day. Hertz Global Holdings is doing everything it can to preserve cash and get leniency from lenders to avoid bankruptcy filing in the midst of this pandemic. That's according to CEO Catherine Marinello. The company has been in discussions with creditors for weeks and is still pushing the U.S. Treasury Department to help rental car companies, which Marinello says have been hit as hard as the airline industry. Absolutely they have. Of course, the airline industry is where most of the rental car places are, the majority of them. They're still all over. We are seeking the support of our lenders and banks, said Marinello, whose biggest shareholder at Hertz is billionaire investor Carl Icahn. I think that's how you say his name. He's one of the guys. He's one of the boys who are also seeking the support of the government. Yes, we can avoid bankruptcy. Here's my story on rental cars. Most of the cars that you see in the dealers that are certified pre-owned and that are cars that come off of the lease programs. Hertz will buy 50 cars for their one place. When those cars, each one of them gets to 35 or 36,000 miles, they take them back to the dealer and get another one, which gives the dealer some nice cars on the used car lot with 30,000 miles. I mean, that's a good used car. That's a great used car. Maybe a little bit of maintenance needs, but that's it. And Hertz and all the rest of them keep up with them. But all the rental car companies are now dead. They're not dead, but they're not doing anything. They're not renting any cars. Very few. And I know Enterprise can't come and pick you up anymore. You can't be in the car. It's got to be, you can have your wife in the car, but you can't have the rest of the world in the car with you. These people are going to have all these cars, and they're going to have them longer than the mileage. So it's going to be an older car, but with less mileage. It's just going to be a different pandemic here for them. This pandemic's going to hit when they open again. The big part is going to really kill them. And the dealerships are going to have a lack of good used cars on their lot because the cars coming off a lease aren't coming off a lease yet. Okay, so just be appraised of that. Now, I also thought to myself the other day, these cars that are coming off a lease, when they get to 36 months, if that's the term of the lease, see, I don't think Hertz does that. They don't go by the time, they go by the mileage. If that car is only 2 years old and it gets to 36,000 miles, poof, it's gone. But if it comes off after a 3-year lease and it's only got 20,000 miles on it, you made out. You could buy some good used cars. So we may have some really good cars coming down the road, unless they decide to keep them till they get to that 36,000 mile mark. And then the car is going to be 5 years old instead of 3. That's how it's going to work. So you're going to have to really, shopping for a used car is going to be a real stinky trick coming down the road.